Greetings, this is Jim Lindsay. This is a CIS video. In this video I'll be talking to you about the Superman project. This should be a really short video. That's certainly my intent. But the Superman the Superman project, you will find it on the syllabus, quiz, papers, and homework page of Blackboard. And it looks like this. When you guys see it, it's going to look a little bit different because right now it's just, again, it's not available to you. But this is what you're going to work from. All right, so this is what the assignment looks like. For this project, everybody is going to do the same work. I don't know if you can hear my dog. He's eating in the back. I apologize on that. Everybody's going to do the same project, and so there's just one set of instruction. There's no northern group, no southern group. It's everybody's in the same boat. So instructions for Superman project PDF. You want to open that. I'll show you that in just a moment. This project is due at this time. You can see the due date there. You're watching the tutorial already, and when you are done with your work, you're going to submit it through this link right here. So that's where the project is. Now let's take a look at the instructions. All right, here are the instructions. This is a 4-page instruction set. I recommend to you to print this out. It's a PDF document, and the first page just basically says, hey, this is what you do. There are no files to download this time. You create everything from scratch, so there are no files to download. The detailed instructions for each drawing are on the subsequent pages, and when you're done, what you do is you submit 2 Visio files. You're going to submit 2 Visio files, and you're also going to send me an email, and the email that you send me is going to contain the web address of your online calendar. One of the things that you make is a online Visio calendar, and you post it into your WKU web space. And so those are the things the deliverables for this work, your 2 Visio files, and also the web address, and then an email with the web address of your online calendar. Why do I want both the Visio file and the web address for your calendar? Well, it's not unusual for there to be problems with the calendar when people put it online. If you send me the Visio file along with sending me the link to your online version of it, where there are problems, I can look at the Visio file and I can backtrack basically, so you can get partial credit for stuff even if what you try and put online has some problems, or the uploading process is difficult for you. I can at least give you some partial credit because I then have the Visio file, the original one, to look at. So that's what you deliver for this project. Okay, so let's look at the details of the 2 products that you create. Your first one is a brainstorming diagram, and you can tell from the scenario here I like food, and I'm including you in my like you're part of my family here, and we all got together and said, hey, let's have a big Thanksgiving party even though it's summertime. And so we're gonna have this big Thanksgiving feast, and everybody's gonna bring something. We'll be kind of a potluck. I'll make some, you'll make some, somebody else makes some, and so on. And as we brainstorm a menu for this, these are the different things that we decided, hey, let's have all these different foods and drinks at our Thanksgiving feast in July. So our main topic is Thanksgiving in July, and here are the meats, the vegetables, and so on. So as you look at this, you'll see that basically there's a breakout of turkey, barbecue, ribs, and beef steak. Those are all types of meats, right? And then T-bone steaks and sirloin steaks are types of beef steaks, and so on. And so when you create your brainstorming diagram for this menu, this is how you should organize your ideas on your page. I would like for this this whole diagram to fit on a legal size piece of paper, basically 8.5 by 14. So how do you do that? Well, when you're in Visio, when you go into Visio here, what you're going to do, let me just I'm going to pause it. I'm going to open up a blank new document. Okay, I've started a blank brainstorming diagram, my stencils, my stencils are over here. I have the outline window right there. What I'm going to do, I'm going to jump into this page 1 setup. Actually, I'm going to do two things. I'm going to go to design. I'm going to turn off the auto size so it won't start throwing those extra pages in on me. You can go to the page setup here, and I'll go to the page size. I'm going to choose legal size as my page size. You've got the predefined sizes here. If you check that radio button and use this drop down, you can go to a legal 8.5 by 14, apply it, and OK. It's giving you a little dash basically because my computer doesn't, the printer attached to my printer doesn't have the capability of doing legal size paper. So what it's telling me is like, hey Jim, on your, if you really try and print this, you're going to have a portion of your page which can't be printed, and that's fine. But now I have this canvas of basically 8.5 by 14 inches, and I can put my drawing on here. So as you create your brainstorming diagram, make that the size of the diagram. How do you make a brainstorming diagram? Well, you learned how to do that back in the, let's go back to Blackboard here to the lessons. Let's go to Flash, and back in Flash you had a whole brainstorming lessons tutorial, and so this is where you learned how to make brainstorming diagrams. I gave you some examples. Here is an example brainstorming diagram that you saw created during that lesson. So you can, this will remind you, you can reverse engineer this kind of diagram as you come up with what you need for this homework assignment. So that's the first thing you make is this brainstorming diagram for this menu. Once you've created it, I want you to work with shape data again. Not a huge amount, but I want you to practice with it more, because the more you practice with it, the better you're going to get at it. You'll see that there are certain foods up there: turkey, strawberries, rolls, hot coffee, key lime pie. Those are certain foods that are up there. You need to create custom shape data fields for the person responsible for bringing that, as well as the cost, as well as the difficulty rating in making that. So you'll see like Ricky Bobby has to make the turkey, has a high cost, it's $40, and it's difficult. And so please note that this is a fixed list type of shape data. The rest of this is pretty straightforward. The cost is currency. The responsible person is string data. How do you do that? Well, think back to your chapters 5 and 6 from the Visio book, and you could create. There are two ways to do this. You could select those individual shapes or objects on the page, and then all at once create the shape data for just those items. Or if you wanted to, you could select the entire page and then create shape data for all those things, and then you have to just select them and then populate those with the information. Your choice, but however you want to attack that, that's fine. What I'm going to do, I'm going to open up your drawing, look at turkey, strawberries, rolls, hot coffee, and key lime pie, and look for this information to be stored as shape data in your drawing for those specific shapes. Now, if you have additional, if you have shape data for all the like steaks and barbecue ribs and stuff like that, and it's not populated, that's okay, just as long as these 5 guys right here, these 5 foods right here, have shape data for these things, and it's populated with the correct information. That's what I'm looking for. And this difficulty rating needs to be a fixed list, and what that means is a drop down. So it's either going to be easy, moderate, or difficult. And when you set up that shape data for those shapes, you select you tell Visio, I'm going to either choose easy, moderate, or difficult. And so you'll remember that once you start working with it. Once you've created it, put a background on there and a border and a title. The border may be a little tricky because it's going to be kind of a big drawing. So you may have to, what you're going to have to do is you're basically in your Visio drawing, you're going to end up moving stuff. Like for example, like this hold a raffle, to make all this fit, you have to kind of move stuff around. So just get everything onto the canvas, throw your border on there, and you're going to have to move stuff. And you can move individual, to remind you, you can move individual shapes so that they fit. And so I'm challenging you with the fact that I'm telling you have to use an 8.5 by 14 piece of paper. That's going to be kind of hard, but I think you can do it. And then lastly, put a text box on there, which you've been doing for your other drawings. List your full name, CIS 320, and the date that you completed this assignment. So that's the first drawing, the brainstorming diagram. The next drawing that you create is an online calendar, and this is going to be for the Jim Lindsay Convention Center and Casino. You should call this file Casino, and I'm asking you to call this file Casino. So you have casino.vsdx. Now I'm doing that because I want this to be as easy as possible for you. This is we're kind of stepping it up here. This is creating HTML and putting this online is a stretch for people in this class usually. And so to keep this as easy as possible, I just want you to call that file casino.vsdx. You don't have to put your name in there or anything else, just casino. Then you build the calendar, and then you populate it with the events that are displayed for you in this table here. You have July, August, and September. This is the third quarter for 2017. I want you on the pages of that drawing, put these individual events, and then I also want you to include the sponsor information. So how do you do that? Well, the text, you're going to have text on the page for this is the CSI fan club, and so you have to think of some way. So you might put like the logo of CBS television or something along next to that text. So I want to challenge you to come up with the incorporation of words or graphics to put in sponsor stuff along with events, and you have to make that fit within the days that you see in your calendar. How do you make a calendar? Well, you guys learned how to do that in the Martian Manhunter lesson, our Martian Manhunter module. You go here, there's the calendar lesson, and there was a tutorial over that. There's a calendar.vsdx file right there, which you can look at as an example. The same exact thing in this example, I built one for October and November, and you can download and look at this. You're doing the same exact thing as you learned about here, but you're doing it for a different year, for different months, and once you have that information in there, you save the Visio file as HTML, and then you have to upload that stuff upload that HTML file in a folder into your WKU web space. I want you to create a folder, using your FTP program, and I recommend you use FileZilla. That's the one I teach you to use. I want you to create a folder called Calendar. So in your web space, there's going to be this folder called Calendar, and then you store the Casino file and the Casino files folder into that Calendar directory in your web space, and you're going to have a web address for that. And the web address is going to look something like what you see right there. So people.wku.edu / the first part of your email address / calendar / and then casino.htm. Because if you named the file Casino like I told you to in Visio, then the HTML file is going to be called Casino. Remember that this web server that we use it's case sensitive, and so basically if you put a capital C for calendar instead of lowercase c, that won't work. So my recommendation to you is, as you're using the web server, use all lowercase letters, and I didn't put any spaces in here. I didn't put any words, compound words, with two parts, trying to keep this really simple. So make your folder called Calendar, all lowercase, name your file Casino, all lowercase, and then it'll be easier for me to find this if I'm having trouble with what you send me. So that's the project. This is, again, the due date. Each one of these chunks is worth 50 points. This is the culmination of the Visio work. We've gone all the way from drawing logos from scratch to creating online HTML stuff that you can then navigate with, depending on your browser, all sorts of different cool attributes you can see from that. So I think we've learned a lot about drawing in this program Visio, but this is the capstone, if you will, for the Visio stuff. So contact me with your questions. I look forward to seeing your work, and thank you for your